We are live. Ginny here from DSTech, and I have a special guest here, Jared
Yep.
today. We're going to talk about passwords.
Yep.
And Tim, you should know him by now.
Hello.
So we got the brain trust here on secure passwords. Kind of important, right?
Yep. Today we're talking about password
So-
managers, right?
Yeah. Question though.
The importance of
If
having
you have a
strong
question, I want you to drop a good question because we have swag to give away. I don't know what it will be. It could be a nice DSTech mug,
Those are limited edition.
right?
Mhm.
It's got our old logo. But I don't know. We have all kinds of stuff. We have shirts.
Mhm.
We have hats. I don't know. Whatever you want. We'll figure it out. But drop a good question so that we'll get you some swag. We'll pick somebody. DSTech.net is where you can sign up for our newsletter. And then I'll tell you why our email, security@DSTech.net, is on our screen at the end of the video. It has to do with passwords.
Mhm.
So tell us why secure passwords are so important.
Well, you could ask the opposite, right? Why are insecure passwords bad?
Yeah?
by nature. Well, let's define insecure password, right? So put on your hacker glasses for a second. I'm going to sit down to Ginny's computer, and what kind of password am I going to try to guess to get into her system? Maybe her son's name, maybe followed by the current year, things like that. So those
Her
are
birthday.
insecure passwords, right? Things,
Address to your house.
right?
Yeah.
Things.
Where I live, where I went to
Exactly.
school.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen a password and it's like winter 2022, things like that. It's very, very common, or the company you work for followed by a 1 or something like that.
Mhm.
So insecure passwords obviously are concerning because then people can get unauthorized access. So flip it on its ear, or the other side of the coin, secure passwords keep people out of things we don't want them to have access to.
And the thing with passwords is what was once secure 5 years ago is no longer secure today because of the tools hackers are using that can guess passwords at a faster rate and what they're able to do to get into your system. So, you keep that in mind as well. What is secure today may not be secure tomorrow, and it's an ever evolving task as well.
Should you password everything?
Anything that you have the option to, yeah. We'll be talking about this in a later one, but you should use passwords and
Multi-factor.
multi-factor as well.
We
So,
talked about this on previous
Yep.
episodes too.
Yep.
So for sure, how would you create a strong password?
Well, you can use so most people come up with one really good password
Mhm.
and then they reuse it everywhere.
Yep.
Don't do that.
I did it before.
Yeah,
I think don't do that too.
don't do that. So there are tools.
Why not?
Well, because let's say you use the same password for Amazon, for Gmail, for all these different sites, if one of
And
them
your bank.
becomes, and your bank, and one of these becomes compromised, now they just have a treasure trove. They can go everywhere using that password.
Biggest one is email. If they get into your email and your email password, the first thing I'm going to do as a hacker is look through all the person's emails. Oh, they have a PayPal account, they have a bank account, they have an Amazon account. I'm going to try the same password now I have stolen for this email and try to log into all those accounts with the same password. And if you used it, the Facebook password is this and whatever, they're going to get into everything that has used that exact same password without even trying. And you won't even notice you're getting,
So
password
here's a question. Why do the hackers want to get into all those things?
money. Your
Yeah.
data is worth money.
It is. It's worth money. Ransomware is worth money. Holding your data hostage is worth money. And they gave themselves a pretty good raise last year too. It's worth more money. So
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
crazy. Okay, so we have a long secure password. Did we figure out how to make a secure password?
no. So there's
So-
you can there's kind of 2 ways to do it. You can try, so rather than using something common to you to create your password, you can try creating a phrase. So think of it, and this is spaces between each word. Ideally, it's not a perfectly flowing sentence. So you wouldn't necessarily say the really fast car. You might have a password that's car, horse, sky, pink. A series of things that you can remember easier, but that don't necessarily make sense as a sentence. So that's a great password, really hard to guess. really hard to crack through like an automated computer system. But then the second way you can do it is having a password like that, but then using a password manager. I'll let Tim talk about that.
Well, a password manager is basically a centralized depository where you have a program which will basically store all your passwords securely for you. So you have one password to get into the password manager. You're make that super secure passphrase. I'd use, eight words so you can remember something at least, pretty long. And then when you go to log in anywhere else, the password manager will be able to generate a password and log in for you on your behalf. And usually it's a password that you would never be able to remember as a person. It could be like 64 characters long, symbols, uppercase, lowercase, just a complete mix of randomness that, as a hacker, your tool will take forever and we'll never be able to crack that, at least with the current technology that we have. So
Right. Yeah.
What kind of password managers do we recommend?
So LastPass is great. LastPass only allows you to do one device for free. They only allow you to do it on one device, so on your computer or your phone, but it is a good paid service.
Mm-hmm.
There are some
DSTech offers it.
Yep, we do. We
For
do
our
have
clients.
that for our clients,
Yep.
If you're a client of ours as well, you can use MyGlue, which would let you manage your password as well. But for personal use, LastPass is a really good option.
Okay. I have one too at home called RoboForm.
Okay. I'm not
I
familiar
think
with
it's
it.
similar.
Yeah.
Back in the day, my Humphreys put it on my computer.
Okay.
I do know there's one that's done by that Troy Hunt, the guy that does haveibeenpwned.com. He's got a password manager out there too. I haven't had any experience with it, but I've heard good things as well.
Yeah.
There's one
He
out
runs
there.
what?
Haveibeenpwned.com. It's just a website you can go to put your email in to see if you've had compromised.
If you want
passwords on
that,
the
let
dark
me know.
web.
I'll put it in the comments. Have I been pwned? I think it's PEWN.
PWN.
PWN.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one that isn't. So these ones are cloud-based, right?
What does that mean, Tim? What is pwned? I'm sorry.
You're good.
It derives from gaming lingo back in the day, where if you did really good and you beat someone in a video game, it was a thing of like, oh, I owned you, and then that just morphed into pwned.
Yeah.
Gamerly terms.
I kind of wonder if it was like a misspelling.
Yeah,
of it.
It was an intended.
But what does it mean though? If you've been pwned?
It just means that you lost.
You've
It's
been
almost
taken
like,
advantage of.
It's
here.
like
Yeah.
it's like skunking
What's
someone.
the website for?
It's just a website you can use that he created to allow you to put your email in to see if your email has been compromised on some of the dark web.
Oh,
So it's not as
okay.
verbose as our dark web scan, which goes
Right.
in all of them, but it's a great, I guess, first level surface look
Okay,
at. So
okay.
has my password's been reused?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting. I don't have to worry about it because you guys know if my email's been compromised. So
So these
Anyway.
options, like LastPass, is cloud-based. What's great about it, for better or for worse, is if you forget your login for it, they cannot retrieve it from you. Your passwords are gone. It uses your password as a key to get in. So that means it's pretty secure, because even if a hacker were to get into LastPass's database, your password should be secure because they're not just sitting there somewhere to retrieve. But if that worries you, there's also KeePass, which came to mind. That one's an offline password manager. Requires a little bit more work to manage, and obviously you're responsible for it at that point.
it's kind of like a password database.
Yeah, it's a password database. Yeah, but it all works from the same concept. You lose that master password, and you're starting from scratch.
Okay. So cool. We talked about how to make a secure password. We talked about using a unique password. Complex, we didn't really talk about that, but a phrase is complex, right?
Yep, a phrase is complex. Yep.
The old thinking of, use a capital and a lowercase and a symbol, it does make it harder for the hackers to guess those passwords, but it's not going to help as much as having just a longer passphrase is now. Just having a
I didn't
passphrase
know
that's
that.
say 30 to 40 characters long because it's a bunch of words strung together is actually much harder to break than like say a 12-character password that is complete gibberish.
Right. And the reason why we've moved to password
Interesting.
phrases, because if you have a short, complex password and you have 10 systems you log into, what are you going to do? You're going to start reusing that password, or you're going to try to get that password as familiar as possible, just because we're humans and we like to memorize
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So that's why they said, okay, stop doing the complex passwords, they being security regulating bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And instead use a phrase because it's super long, but you have the human memory element. You can
Okay.
retain that.
That's changed since the last time we did a password episode.
Has it?
Yeah, because we did talk about the complex characters and all that. I remember
Yeah.
that.
Well, at
And-
the end of the day, so a short, complex password and a long password phrase, a password phrase is going to be more secure just from sheer length.
Okay.
But a long, complex password is going to be secure yet, which is the password.
Oh, like a
manager.
combination of both.
Yeah, you could have
Okay.
you could have a long password phrase that also then has uppercase changes or a couple symbols in
There
it.
you go.
If you're feeling daring,
Right,
you
I was
know
going to
what I
say,
mean, into
you
it.
can go crazy.
But I'll tell you the truth though, I really like having password manager.
It is. It's a
'Cause I
lifesaver.
just- I literally use it to go to the sites even.
Yep.
You know, like I got an order from somebody, so I click that password in LastPass and I go there using that,
Right.
you know,
Right.
LastPass.
Now,
So
keep in mind though, if you have a tool like LastPass in your browser, well, now it's only secure as your computer login. Because if you have a laptop with no password on it, and someone can sit down and now fire up LastPass, so just consider that. You know.
oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So have a good password on your laptop too.
And on your phone.
Yep. And on your phone.
There's other secure things with phones. We've talked about that before too, and I'm sure we'll revisit it.
Yep. Security.
That's
Using
interesting too.
biometrics, if you have it available, is
Yeah.
always going to be the most secure way to get in. So.
Cool. Okay. So I think we pretty much got it. I think we covered everything, right?
Yeah, that's
If
about as
you-
concise as we can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we do want to talk about multi-factor, but we'll talk about that next week.
Mhm.
And that'll make it even more secure. So if you want a free assessment and a dark web scan, which is looking for your password, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Out there to see if it's for sale, email security@dstech.net. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter and drop your questions so I can give you some swag. Thank you.
Thank you. See you guys later.
Make
See
it a
ya.
great day.